Tribe of Names, Simon here, and today I'm speaking to you from a very autumnal Wissahickon Park here in sunny, or not so sunny, Philadelphia actually, about a subject which is close to mine and possibly, if you're a guitarist, very close to your heart as well, and that's pedalboard builds. Now in this context I'm talking about building pedal boards for the Tribe of Names live studio sessions which we do every week or so. So if you would just let me finish walking this creature. This is Dora. So hello, Dora. Beep. I'll finish walking Dora and then I'll talk to you from the studio. See you in a minute. Bye. Hello there, my name is Simon Godfrey and welcome back to the Tribe of Names music channel. I'm a professional musician and I've been working in and sometimes around the music industry for the past 35 years, writing and performing music. On this channel, we provide creative tips and tricks for the aspiring musician and songwriter in you. So, pedal boards. If you're any kind of musician, you've probably encountered the humble effects pedal. And when one effects pedal is combined with another effects pedal, you've got a potential pedal board. And in this ongoing series, what we're going to be doing is showing you, by example, some of the combinations you can come up with to create interesting textures and sonic landscapes. Sonic landscapes? That was a bit dramatic, wasn't it? To give you some context as to how pedals can interact with one another on a pedal board, I will be giving you some live examples here in the studio and also from the studio sessions that my band records each week. But before we get started on building any pedal boards, it's probably a good idea to give you a little bit of background information on why we started the studio session series in the first place. At the beginning of this year, we found ourselves a man down as we lost our keyboard player and no gigs to play because of the COVID pandemic. So we decided what we'd do is we'd bring the gigs to us and set up our rehearsal studio as a recording and performance space which we could actually play our songs and a few covers, hopefully coming up in the near future, to you guys at home. The second thing we found was that it's a very different discipline performing in front of cameras than it is to playing in front of a live audience. And we found our performance style and our equipment changed to fit that new environment. So the main thing I discovered when doing these studio sessions was that it was better for me to design a small specific pedal board for each recording session than it was to bring down my main gigging board. And that was for two reasons. The first one is that the board is a lot smaller, the signal chain is a lot shorter, and the sound quality is a lot better, which can only be a good thing when it comes to studio sessions like this. The second reason is that having a small pedal board allows me to look down and instantly know which stomp I need to hit next. Being a singer at live gigs, I don't have anywhere near the kind of opportunity to look down at my pedal board as much as another guitarist would who's just playing guitar. And for me, that's a tremendous advantage when it comes to performing to a camera. And if there's one unspoken advantage which I'll put in at the end, it's fun to build pedal boards. So straight out of the gate, I ought to remind you this was a semi-acoustic session where I was playing a Martin OM guitar, which I bought in London in the UK. But as it turns out, I'm actually only 30 miles away from Nazareth in Pennsylvania, where the Martin Guitar Factory is actually located. So I really ought to check that place out at some point. So rather unsurprisingly for an acoustic rig, the first stomp on my pedal board is an acoustic preamp stroke DI box. And that takes the form of this Fishman Aura Spectrum. It's actually got a little bit of mic modelling involved in it as well, which kind of gets you some way to having that mic in front of an acoustic guitar feel. And it's got some compression and a little bit of EQ as well. So that kind of sort of rounds out the sound at the start of my pedal board. Now with the meat and potatoes of the sound taken care of by the Fishman, the next pedal in the lineup is this Digitech Luxe, which kind of acts as a faux chorus pedal but without the swirliness. In fact, I think this is actually the detune function from the Digitech Whammy put in its own discrete little box. A really handy tool. And rounding out the sonic field for this particular song, I have the TC Electronic Hall of Fame 2 reverb pedal. Now for me personally, this is my favourite reverb pedal just because you get a huge bang for your buck in such a small form factor. In fact, I like this pedal so much I still kept hold of my old Hall of Fame Reverb 1 pedal if I want to use a little spring reverb on this and a little esoteric reverb on that. So with that said, what do these stomps sound like when they're all put together? Let's go and investigate, shall we? So what we had there was the Fishman Aura Spectrum providing a little bit of compression, EQ and mic modelling to fatten up my finger picking. We then have the Lux pedal providing that detuned chorus which sounded very lush in my opinion. And finally the Hall of Fame 2 providing some shimmer in the background, a sort of ambient texture just to give you a bit of a landscape back there. We're back to sonic landscapes again. So for our next example we'll be using the Fishman Aura Spectrum for our meat and potatoes acoustic sound, the Lux for that detuned loveliness, the Hall of Fame 2 but this time actually on a hall setting just to give you a little bit of background wash, and finally the TC Electronic Flashback for a little bit of modulated delay. Let's see what we can do. I do like a good strum. Well, finally we'll play you out with one last example from last week's studio session featuring keyboard player Joe Traynor on keyboards and the rest of the band. As before, I was using the Fishman Audio Spectrum, the Lux pedal and the Hall of Fame back on its shimmer setting. So until then, if you like what you saw, please click like and subscribe and we'll see you next time. Tribe of Names, this is Simon Godfrey. We'll speak to you soon. Bye. And we're still running into the darkness. The storm is building so close behind us. The hour's coming when we step into the darkness. But it gets lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. Yes, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. As the storm